Whoa, episode 2. What's up, guys?
Episode
It's us, the
2.
SpookCast, back
We're going to keep
with another
going with
one
this every week, baby.
every week.
SpookCast. I'm hyped. I'm hyped for this story today. Like, this story, all
Yep.
time favorite. It's so good. My
We're
wife has
going
been
down the
peeking at
no
me.
sleep. We're going
Yeah.
through the top rated stories. Last episode, go watch it or don't because the last story we read was pretty shit. The
Yeah, it
number
was
one story, no
overrated,
sleep,
but
is
oh well.
bad.
Yeah. But, like, this story, out of, like, at this point, like, hundreds of Reddit stories I've read, this one tops it all, and it's just so good. I'm so hyped. And Poi hasn't read it, so
I've not read it.
he's
This is my first time.
he's about to witness just peak Reddit stories.
I'm about to see some peak.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Remember, Snook's gonna
Yep.
buy a camera at 10,000 subscribers.
Mhm.
It was 10,000. We said
Yeah,
right.
10,000. So
10,000 subs.
guys hear
he's gonna
that?
Get a camera.
You want to see my face? Well,
You wanna see his
10,000.
sexy face.
Exactly. All right. Want to get into it?
Hell yeah.
All right.
Start us off.
My wife has been peeking at me from around corners and behind furniture. It's gone from weird to terrifying. So, since you haven't read it, what are your predictions for what do you what do you think
Okay.
it's gonna be like?
My initial predictions. I'm hoping it's gonna be a paranormal one. Those are my favorite stories. The ones that have like a bit of a not real
Uh-huh.
side to it. So I'm hoping maybe she's like demon possessed or some shit. Like I hope that he finds like maybe like a dead animal in a fucking, what is it called, like the satanic symbol, like in the
Yeah.
closet.
Uh-huh.
But realistically, I feel like people don't like the paranormal ones that much. So since it's so highly rated, maybe she's she's like a criminal. She's like working for like the mafia or something.
Maybe you're right, but maybe you're wrong. Maybe it is
I feel like
paranormal,
neither
maybe
of
it's
those
not.
are accurate.
I
Yeah,
think
we're gonna find out.
one of those is true. So,
Really?
yeah, you just predicted one of them. But I won't spoil
So she's a
it.
mafia member.
Maybe.
Well,
Call her Tony
guys,
Soprano.
Stay tuned.
Stay
Stay
tuned.
to find out.
All right, I'm hyped. Let's get into it. My
All right.
wife Lynn and I have been together for 6 years and married for 11 months. Our entire history together has been very normal, and never once have I noticed any weird behaviors or red flags. I can't stress enough how out of character this whole thing is for her. Lynn is very kind, intelligent, and thoughtful. She's always been the no nonsense type of person. Being childish or trying to scare me is not something she'd normally do. She doesn't even like watching horror movies. When we first started dating, she agreed to watch The Shining with me because she knew how much I loved horror. She was so scared that she didn't even make it through half of the movie before we had to turn it off. She isn't into anything creepy and has never been into pranks. It's just not her cup of tea, and that's fine, but that's what was so strange about this. It's just so unlike her. I should also say that she never had any mental health issues, and as far as I'm aware, it doesn't run in her family. I know some people are able to hide their mental health problems, but in the 6 years we've been together, I think I'd have some sort of sign. How about that? Before we get into this, because 2 months ago, what do you think?
Okay, I think she's gonna start doing some crazy weird shit, and then he's gonna be like, "Oh, she's doing a little prank,"
Mm-hmm.
but then that's not like her, so something more is going on.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, because it kind
So
of
it's gonna
gave.
start out
Yeah, because
like pretty bland and boring. I feel like, but then
Yeah.
it's gonna get scarier. You know,
Yeah. All right. You want to go for it?
I'll go for it. 2 months ago, I was in the kitchen making myself some coffee before work. I was running a bit late that morning, and I knew I wouldn't be able to make it to Dunkin' Donuts for my usual morning fix. I took a sip of my coffee as I hurried down the hall towards the front door, when I happened to notice Lynn peeking at me from around the corner ahead of me. I could only see her eyes and a strand of her long dark hair hanging against the wall. The rest of her body was concealed behind the corner. I nearly spilled my coffee when I saw her. I did burn the shit out of my lips. "Jeez, Lynn," I said, wiping a few drops of coffee from my pants. "You scared the shit out of me." She immediately popped out of view like a little kid that had been caught. I heard her scurry off towards the living room, and by the time I got to the front door, she was out of sight. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have some more predictions now. This has shed a lot of light on how I feel about this.
Okay. What
So
are you thinking?
I think she's possessed by something.
Okay.
Okay, because she
Already you
ran
make this?
away.
Already you make this like assumption?
Hmm. See, she ran away. Okay, that's weird. She ran away like a little kid. He says,
Mm-hmm.
right? Maybe she's possessed by a little kid,
Yeah, but what if she's
or
just
maybe.
like, what if she's like being like, oh, I'm such a Debbie Downer all the time and so serious. Like, why don't I try to like have some fun with my husband?
Well, I think that she's possessed by a creature who doesn't understand how humans work that much, and
Okay.
he's trying to observe, or they, whatever the spirit is trying to observe. So either a little kid or a ghost, like a new ghost or something, like some
Yeah.
kind of spirit that is trying to learn more about human behavior.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. I think that because I get the vibe that like they don't even understand that by them like just showing their eyes, they're being weird. Like they
Mm-hmm.
probably thought that they were actually like hidden.
Okay. So you think it's already like Skinwalker type stuff?
Hmm.
Okay.
I think so. That's my prediction.
All right. Let's see if you're right. She immediately popped out of view like a little kid that had been caught. Oh wait, did you already read that?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I already read that.
Yeah, my bad. It was really weird. Is that where we were?
Yeah, yeah,
It was really weird and just totally out of character for her, like I said. But I also found it kind of funny that she was being more playful and a little less serious. See? I shouted that I
yeah.
loved her and called her a weirdo. As I shut the door behind me, I heard her laughing. Her behavior was a bit odd, but it certainly wasn't something to call a priest over. I forgot it by lunch, and by the time I got home, she was normal self. I didn't bring it up, and neither did she, and life went on. The next incident happened 3 days later. It was around 2 a.m., and I had woken up to get a drink. I was standing at the kitchen, jug of OJ in hand, when I felt a strong feeling that I was being
Hell yeah.
watched. For whatever reason, I looked down at the floor and saw my wife's smiling face staring back. She was peeking at me from the other side of the island, staring up at me with wide, unblinking eyes and grinning like the Cheshire cat. I screamed, I'll admit it, not out of irritation, but fear. For some reason at that moment, I was scared. At the sound of my scream, Lynn scuttled backwards out of my view, her hands and feet smacking the tile floor as she hurried out of the kitchen on all fours. I didn't run after her or even yell at her. I just stood there frozen in shock, wondering what the fuck had possessed her to do that.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a possession because this is just fucked.
Yeah,
This is she's not being funny. She's not being cheeky.
yeah.
I'm gonna stick. Also, we forgot to do a clap sync.
Oh well, we'll
Sorry,
figure it out.
editor.
Sorry,
Here we go.
editor.
Let's do it right now.
1, 2,
Let's do it
3.
right
Huh.
now. Okay.
I did it. All right, we're
Hell
good
yeah.
now. Editor's saved.
Sorry, editor. Okay, this is getting a little scary. This is getting a little scary. I don't know. I mean, it could be either scary and like threatening.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she's trying a new game.
Yeah,
Maybe some kind of a fun game.
maybe she's a little maybe she's trying to get a little bit freaky. She's like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's like I mean, they're married. Maybe it's
yeah.
a fun little game.
And she's just like, I'm trying to get my freak on 11 months into
Yeah.
marriage. Maybe she's just trying to
I
have a
mean,
little bit more fun.
you know what I'm saying. You know what they say. Fear is the other half of pleasure.
Oh, yeah?
Right?
Is that what they say?
That's what I say.
All right. I mean, I might need to add that to my Riz dictionary.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, girl.
You gotta scare girls to risk them.
Exactly. Got to bring them to the.
That's why I always go up to girls in the middle of the street alone at night.
Oh, 100. No. If you see a girl running, like at night, you just got to chase after her to just like,
Yeah, she's playing a game.
I'm just going to go say
going
hi,
with the
but you just sprint at them full as fast as you can. Middle of the night. Make sure it's like 1, 2 a.m. Make sure no one else is around. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, whenever I see a girl in public, I grab. I spam X on my controller
Spam
to
X.
grab. Okay.
It took me a little. Wait, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I can go ahead.
All right.
It took me a little longer than I'd like to admit to go back upstairs, but I eventually did. When I got to our bedroom, Lynn was laying on her side asleep, or at least pretending to be. I stood there for a while, watching her breathing to be sure she really was asleep. I had the feeling she might jump out at me the moment I got into bed, but she didn't. I climbed into bed and she didn't even move. Her breathing was soft and deep, and I was starting to wonder if I dreamt the whole thing. The next morning, I waited for her to come down for coffee, and after handing her a mug and kissing her cheek, I decided to ask her about it. What was that about last night? I asked, keeping my tone light so I didn't offend or embarrass her. She frowned over her cup of coffee, shaking her head like she had no idea what I was referring to. You were peeking at me again from over there, I said, pointing to the spot on the floor by the kitchen island. She followed my gaze, and when she looked back at me, she burst out laughing. She laughed so hard that I couldn't help but join her. You creep me the fuck out sometimes, you know that? I said. She giggled and set her cup on the counter and wrapped her arms around my neck. You creep me out all the time, so I guess we're even, she teased.
Hmm.
Whoa. So she's not denying it, though.
Mm-hmm.
See, whenever she started laughing, my first thought was like, oh, she's going to be like, I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, that would make sense.
But like maybe she's
If she
just
was
like, but she said like you creep me out all the time. So I guess we're like, so what if like, what if the
but what if they're
narrator of
both
the story,
doing it?
yeah, what if he's like does some like weird stuff? Like now that this is where, so like maybe she's not even possessed. Maybe she's just like you got to get some payback. Like maybe he's just a weirdo. Like we don't know if he's doing anything weird.
I don't know. I feel like she knows what she's doing. Like, there's something fucky going on here. You know, like she
Yeah.
didn't deny it. She's not saying, "What are you talking about?" Like, she knows what she's doing, but she's still giggling.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. There's some weird shit going on.
We said our goodbyes and left for work. As I drove, I kept thinking about how creepy it had been seeing her grinning at me from behind the island like that. The sounds of her hands made on the floor as she crawled away. I told myself she was just trying to be silly, just trying to join me in my love of all things horror. It's not like I was afraid of her, but it still didn't sit right with me. I started seeing her peeking at me more and more. Sometimes she'd be peeking out from behind the couch or living room curtains. Once she even managed to get inside her grandmother's old trunk that sits at the foot of our bed. I might not have been I might have not ever known she was there at all had the trunk's old hinges not given her away. She'd had the lid propped up just enough so that only half her face peeked through. She'd been grinning like an excited toddler. It was unnerving. I didn't even know what to say to her. All I could do was stare. When I finally found my voice, I asked her why on earth she was doing this. She didn't answer, but she had slowly closed the lid, shutting herself inside the trunk. I just walked away feeling disturbed. So, she's doing some weird things.
Okay, the vibe I'm getting here, right, is like secondhand embarrassment almost, you know? Like, what if she's not trying? Like, what if she's actually like being genuine? What if
Yeah.
she's just like trying to actually like help him, and he's just like, "What the fuck? Are you doing?" Like,
Yeah. What if she's like, what if she thinks she's like actually just being really funny? But she's just like, it's like, this is
yeah,
just not funny.
this is like I feel bad for her. You know, what if she's like, what if this is like her kink or something, and she's like trying to like explore it with her husband, but like she's just going about it so poorly. Like, I
Yeah.
feel
She's
bad,
just like,
bro.
or she's like, fine. I'll try to like have more fun with my husband who likes horror stuff. And she just has no idea how to go about it. And it's just
Yeah, she has
embarrassing.
no idea like what to do.
So
Yeah.
embarrassing. Yeah. Like she's like, I'm going to scare you inside my trunk at the bottom of the bed. I'm going to stare at you. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad.
It could
Okay.
be. I mean, yeah. What if it just ends? It's like one of like the stories from episode 1. If you haven't watched, you should watch. But what if it just like has like a horrible, horrible ending, and it's just like, oh yeah, she was just joking.
Well, I see. I would think that, but this is like your favorite story ever.
Yeah,
So like,
true.
I don't know, and I guess I kind of trust your opinion, like at least a little bit or whatever, dude. So, you know,
Just a little bit. You should maybe, maybe,
just a little bit.
yeah, maybe.
Okay. Lynn didn't peek at me for the next 2 weeks. I started to think she was done with her weird prank, and I was relieved. Oh fuck, I skipped a line.
Um,
Whatever, it's fine.
you're good.
It's not important, Chad.
No, it's not.
We were watching a show on Netflix one night, and I jokingly said that I hadn't seen her peeking at me lately, and that she must have given up on her spy game. She looked up at me. Oh, she looked up at me with a small smile and said, "Maybe I've just gotten better at it." I didn't say anything, but I wondered whether or not she was joking. For the next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about what she'd said. Was she still peeking at me when I wasn't looking and I hadn't noticed? And if so, what the hell was she getting out of this? I started to feel paranoid, constantly checking whether she was watching from around the corner or behind a door. I was jumpy whenever I was home and she wasn't in full view of me. I felt stupid and a little crazy. But after a few weeks without another incident, I began to relax. I stopped checking behind furniture and walls and told myself that it was just a bad memory. Then a few days ago, things got so much worse. I'm intrigued now, dude. You know
Yeah.
what, dude? You picked a good story. I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, because like when I like first read that maybe I've just gotten better at it, I was like, oh shit. You know?
Mhm.
Like that's scary.
Yeah, I read ahead on accident, and that's why I said like, oh, in the middle of my sentence. 'Cause I read ahead, and that fucking got me.
But yeah, that's like a like what like that's scary. Like just like not knowing if someone's just always staring at you. Or you did. Yeah, like well, hold up. Let me look around. Oh, you guys wouldn't know
Yeah.
because I don't have a camera yet because we're not at 10,000 subscribers, so
So
subscribe.
subscribe.
Yep, thank you guys.
Yeah, viewers at home, don't look behind you.
I know.
Behind you.
Don't look behind you. Or maybe there is something behind you.
Ah!
Maybe there's
Did I
something.
scare you, viewers at home?
That,
Dude,
that Loki scared me.
I know. My editor put in like a knocking sound effect in one of my videos, and there's so many comments that are like the goddamn knocking at 16 minutes and whatever fucking got me.
Like the
It's
realistic
like so
one?
many people.
Like the realistic one? Like
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
dude,
He
that
said,
one,
like, it's like in the story it says like a door knocked, and then there's like a sound effect that's just like
dude, that one scares the shit out of me whenever I hear it. Like even if like I'm expecting it, like it scares the balls out of me. Guys,
Let me know if I just scared you.
watching this video, we might place one somewhere in this video. Don't watch this video at night and with headphones on. That's like double scare.
If you comment the time when we put it in, I'll PayPal you $1,000.
Same. I'll double it.
Yep, $2,000. Snook, let's just not put in a knocking sound effect. We don't have to lose
Yeah.
any money.
Exactly. And they'll keep like watching the video to keep like search for it. Yeah. They'll never know.
Yeah, get it
Yeah,
right.
good idea. All right. Lynn left
All
to go to her friends, and I lounged on the couch and played a couple games on my laptop. Around 9 p.m., I hopped in the shower, and as I was washing the soap from my hair, I felt that awful feeling like I was being watched. I slowly opened my eyes and almost had a fucking heart attack. Lynn was peering from behind the shower curtains, her entire head stretched into the shower, leaving just her body outside. Her long, dark hair hung against the curtain, the ends dripping with water. Her mouth hung open in a terrible grin, eyes wide and red, as if she hadn't blinked in a while. I screamed and jumped back against the wall. She didn't move, nor did her smile waver. Her makeup ran down her cheeks into 2 black streaks. She looked giddy and completely deranged. I was fucking terrified. So maybe she is trying to be freaky.
Yeah, for real. I mean, in the shower, her makeup running down her cheeks. Like, I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
hinting at
I mean,
something.
Let's just say I don't know if I would have reacted the same way as this guy. You know?
Yeah, like why?
Let's just leave it at that.
I'm like, why don't you just be like, I understand.
You're like, you want to join me?
I know our marriage is a little bit boring, but like, let's spice it up.
Dude, we can't talk about this shit on the second episode, bro. We can't get freaky on episode 2 of this podcast.
Guys, episode 100 will be Diddy Party level.
Yeah, the freaky cast.
Yeah, we should actually. That's such a funny name.
Let's rebrand an episode.
Yeah,
2
rebrand
to the
Freaky Cast. That's so funny. Because it's like, oh, that's freaky. Or, oh, that's freaky.
Oh, true. Damn it, that would have been a cool name, bro. Fuck. Okay.
Freaky Cast. Freaky
We
Cast is
stood like
crazy.
that for a few. We stood like that for a few moments, neither of us saying a word. After what felt like forever, she slowly pulled her head back out of the shower, and I watched her blurry figure through the curtain as she moved backwards towards the bathroom door. A second later, the bathroom door slammed shut, hard enough to rattle the mirror. I screamed again and jumped out of the shower to lock the door. I stayed inside the bathroom for over an hour. Maybe I overreacted to some of you, but joke or not, I wasn't going to put up with the crazy shit anymore. That's what I kept telling myself as I paced in my bathroom, stopping to listen to the door every few minutes. Suddenly, I heard a muffled sound, and I pressed my ear against the bathroom door, straining to listen. I couldn't hear anything, but I envisioned Lynn standing on the other side of the door, giggling at her joke. I felt a surge of anger. I was beyond pissed at being made feel scared in my own house and made to hide in the bathroom for an hour. All for what? Some joke? Some joke? If it was a joke, it was an awful one. What the fuck, Lynn? I snapped. This shit is getting really fucking annoying. I waited for her to apologize or to call me a jerk, but instead, I heard a faint moan. So quiet I wondered if I heard it at all, and then complete silence. Lynn? I called out, not able to even hide the shakiness in my voice. I got no response, just my own heavy breathing. I swear to God, just fucking stop it, I yelled, pounding my fist on the door. I waited for her to cuss me out, something I would expect from me talking to her like that. I never screamed at her before, but there was nothing, just the occasional drip from the shower head. I won't deny I was scared, too afraid to open the damn door and face my own wife. I waited another 30 minutes or so, which feels like a fucking lifetime when you're scared. Finally, I decided I wasn't going to spend the night hiding in my bathroom, so I got on my knees and peered under the door. I almost expected to see her face peeking back at me, but thankfully I didn't. I could see straight down the hallway to the top of the stairs, but no Lynn. I didn't know if I should be happy about that or not. I looked for a few minutes, waiting to see her head pop up over the top step, but it never came. I stood up, my hand hovering over the door, and mentally prepared myself to open it. I slowly turned the lock with shaky fingers, and was about to yank it open when I heard a sound that still makes me feel nauseous when I think about it.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Okay. A moan, louder than before, but this time I was able to tell just where it was coming from. I turned my head to the closet door as if in slow motion, and locked eyes with my wife who was peeking out at me from the slight gap. Her eyes were still wide as ever, and her mouth was hanging open in the most grotesque gaping smile I'd ever seen. I didn't even scream, I was too scared for even that. Her hands were clasped to her chest, body trembling with sheer delight as if she could barely contain her excitement. A short, raspy moan bubbled up from her throat, deep and raw, sending a shiver through my entire body.
One more.
Should I keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
Somehow I found the ability to pull the bathroom door open and ran as fast as I could all the way down the steps, snagging my keys and phone from the table in the living room before running outside to my car. I could hear her shrill laughter behind me, but I didn't hear her getting any closer. I didn't bother shutting the front door. I drove away from the house faster than I legally should have, shivering the entire time, either from fear or the cold. Maybe a little of both. I hadn't even grabbed a coat or even a pair of shoes. I was still in my boxers and my hair was still damp. Fuck. Fuck, bro.
Yeah, so she was in there the whole time.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, is he naked? But then it says he was still in his boxers.
Yeah. But like,
do people bring clothes into the bathroom with them when they shower?
I sometimes do.
I just bring like a towel and then just like walk to my room like with my towel on.
Yeah, sometimes. I don't know.
I feel like it's too much junk to like I like get naked in my room and then I put the towel on and then I walk to the bathroom.
Okay.
Like I feel like there's too much. I don't like having any junk on the floor when I shower.
Yeah, it's valid. Valid opinion. I usually
that's not the important thing to talk about right now.
So what did you think about what we just read?
This is fucked, dude. I mean, I just want to know what happens next. Like I'm fully intrigued in the story. And I'm sure that the viewers at home want to know too, but we got to keep them in suspense. We got to keep them waiting and begging for more.
Edging them a little bit.
Yeah, we got to edge them. Okay, I'm not going to finish that sentence.
I drove straight to my brother Chris's house about 40 minutes away, ignoring any and every call and text I got. I didn't check my phone until I was safely parked in my brother's driveway. Lynn had called 4 times and sent a flurry of texts, all wondering where I'd gone and why I left, quote, like that. I threw my phone at the dash in a rage, furious at her nonchalant attitude. My brother and his wife were surprised to see me, especially dressed in just a pair of boxers, but told me to stay as long as I needed to. Chris lent me some clothes and asked me what happened. I told him Lynn and I had a fight, but didn't get into the details. I didn't want him to think I was overreacting and leave my wife over a prank, even if it was a strange one. I mean, hadn't I encouraged her for years to lighten up instead of being so serious all the time? I had wanted her to relax and loosen up, but this was definitely not what I had in mind. So,
I like this Chris guy. You know, I hope that he see. The thing is this guy even in danger?
yeah,
That's the thing. Like, is he in danger, or is this just like a fucked prank? Even if it's by a ghost, like, is he actually in danger? Like,
true. Because like she hasn't even done anything remotely close to like threatening him.
hmm
It's just scary or creepy.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't think he's in danger. I think he's just pissed. I think he's just really. I mean, I'd be pissed too. You
Yeah, I'd
know,
be like,
if my wife was doing this shit.
all right, it's time to chill out. I'm like, this isn't funny. Or maybe this guy's just a pussy.
Yeah, true. Maybe the wife is like the normal one. He's
Because
just like a pussy.
he stayed in the bathroom for an hour and
Yeah,
a
for an
half.
hour and a half.
That's a
Yeah,
long ass time to
literally.
stay. Like, if it's your wife who was staring at you, like, is it really that scary?
Yeah, for real. I mean, and like we said earlier, like it could be a good thing. She could just be getting freaky.
Yeah.
Like, just, I mean, I would like give into it. I'd be like, okay,
Like,
hell yeah.
and he literally like just said he asked for it for years that she'd like stop
hmm
being so serious. And now that she's like, now she's gonna be pissed. She's gonna be like, okay, so you asked me to stop being so serious, and now that I did, and now you're mad at me. Like, she's divorce. That's gonna
Well,
happen.
I mean, but still, there are a lot of other ways to like stop being serious other than being like a freak, like a creepy
Yeah,
freak.
but she just went to the max. She was like planning it for years. She's just like, you know what? I'm gonna just fucking stare at him all the time.
Yeah, she had this planned out, bro.
I'm just gonna stare at him for who knows. Maybe they're just both weird.
All
I
right.
think they're both weird.
I tried to sleep on their sofa, but my brain wouldn't let me sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Lynn's face staring at me from inside the closet. Knowing she'd been in there with me the entire time made my skin crawl. She'd never left the fucking bathroom at all. Instead, she slipped into the closet and slammed the bathroom door shut to fool me.
That
The
scares me
mere
so
thought of
bad.
going back home. Yeah, I didn't. I thought it was like the bedroom closet. I didn't know it was the
No.
bathroom
Yeah.
closet.
So that scares the shit out of me. How she was in there the
God
whole
damn.
time.
Yeah.
So she is pretty fucking scary.
The mere thought of going back home gave me anxiety. I tossed and turned, unable to sleep. Chris ended up giving me a sleeping pill so I was able to get a little rest. My sleep was filled with terrible dreams, all of Lynn's smiling face. I woke up just as the sun started to rise. My sore body ached from the sofa and I felt drained. I knew I'd have to call Lynn at some point, but I didn't know what to say to her. I wouldn't be going home unless she gave me her word she'd never do any more creepy shit. I just wanted my wife back. Her normal, serious self never looked so good to me. I was contemplating calling her and telling her that, when that familiar feeling came over me. I was being watched. I was staring at the ceiling, my heart in my throat. I didn't want to look away, but the longer I ignored the feeling, the worse it got. My eyes drifted away from the ceiling almost on their own. Her face was pressed up against the window beside the couch, staring down at me with that same gaping smile. Drool dribbled down her lips, leaving two long streaks down the glass. I didn't know how long she'd been there, but something told me she'd been there quite a while, possibly all night. I didn't bother screaming, though I was afraid anger triumphed any fear I had felt at the moment. I jumped up from the couch and pounded my palm against the glass. Lynn, are you crazy? What the hell's wrong with you? Just go home, I shouted. Now! She didn't move, and her ghastly expression never changed. If anything, her smile only grew, as if she had never been more elated. Fuck, this story fucks, bro.
Yeah. Isn't that spooky? Yeah.
She followed him?
And no, but it's so scary how she doesn't do shit. Like, I feel like it is scarier that she doesn't do anything. Like, she just like stared at him through the window all night long.
Yeah, for real. Like, not, like, saying anything.
Yeah, and like he
Doing
said, like
anything?
they're just like the drool dribbled down her lips, leaving two long streaks, like that she'd been there all night.
Maybe it is a skinwalker.
Could be.
Maybe it's not her. Because, like, I I remember in the early story, it was talking about, like, the texts that they had sent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, because, like, she because when he was driving away, he got a text from her that was like, "Why'd you leave like that?" So maybe to her, she doesn't know what's going on. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
there's like two of her, and like one's with the scary
Ooh.
shit,
Ooh,
and
good
that's the
point.
skinwalker. Okay, you
Mm-hmm.
fuck you, bro. You know how it ends, bro. Fuck you.
No, that's actually a good one. I've never thought of that theory. I'm being dead ass.
So it's not true then.
Well, I don't know.
We could
I
we,
don't, I
we gotta
don't
find
know.
out, I guess.
I read this shit 4 months ago, so maybe. I
All
can't
right,
remember.
let's keep going.
She didn't move, and her ghastly expression never changed. If anything, her smile only grew, as if she had never been more elated. I could hear Chris and his wife moving around upstairs, as if Lynn could hear them from her place outside. Her head twitched slightly in their direction, and she began to close her mouth slowly. Chris called my name from upstairs, obviously concerned. I turned to see him and his wife, Rebecca, hurrying down the steps. When I turned back to the window, Lynn was gone. The only the only sign she'd been there at all was the two streaks of drool still dripping down the glass. I tried explaining to Chris and Rebecca about waking up to see Lynn watching me through their window. They were skeptical. Who wouldn't be? Chris and I went outside to the spot in front of the window, but there were no footprints in the dirt, just a slight indent. Animal, probably, Chris guessed, and I didn't argue. He and Rebecca assumed I dreamt the entire episode, but they didn't understand, and I was too tired to explain it to them. I called out of work that day and turned my cell off. I didn't want to face Lynn. Just talking to her was too much for me at this point. I really started to believe something was irreversibly wrong with her, that no matter what promises she made, we'd never be the same again. The thought saddened me to my core. I cried most of the morning. By noon, I figured I was ready to confront her, give her one last chance to explain herself. I could at least give her that after 6 years, I told myself. I turned my phone on and saw dozens of texts she'd sent, all from seemingly concerned wife. Can we talk? I love you. Please call me. I'm really worried. Can you answer? Just come home. Ooh.
Yeah, see, this goes to my theory that maybe there's two people. Maybe
It Loki
there's
does.
two wives.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
Or what if
I
she
don't know,
has
but
like
then
a what if she
the
has
way
like
you reacted to it made me think it's not real
well
and
no,
true.
but what if she has like schizoph like what does like is there a
Like
mental
BPT,
yeah.
BPD, whatever.
Yeah.
Multiple personalities.
Or like like
Whatever.
severe bipolar or like schizophrenia of some sort.
Or maybe there's a ghost in her that only like comes in half the time. Maybe the ghost only controls her like half the time.
Maybe. Or maybe she's just
Maybe.
like but what if she's it's all one prank or all one prank and at the end it's like you just walk the prank.
The whole thing is just a fucking. It's like Impractical Jokers.
Mm-hmm.
You just see Murr come out.
Yeah, Sal comes out to the end. He's like, I got
Yeah,
you.
for real.
I got
For
you.
real.
It'd be so funny.
Okay.
What if
Continue.
hold up, sorry. What if
Okay, no, you're fine.
what if the guy who's telling the story is one of the Impractical Jokers and this is one of the punishments and like it was like months later after one of the episodes. So he's like,
He had to
fuck.
tell the story.
Mm-hmm. A
Okay.
new theory, guys. And this is the Impractical Jokers.
And more of the same. All texts telling me she loved me and she wanted me home. How worried she was. Not a damn one addressing the crazy shit she pulled, like she hadn't been acting like a character from a Stephen King book. Even her texts were different. She normally texted novels just to tell me to pick up a loaf of bread. You'd think she'd have more to say to me after her bizarre shenanigans. I know it probably seems childish to some of you who are miles away from the situation, but if you saw the way Lynn had looked at me, how she scampered away on all fours like some wild animal, grinning at me from inside the closet like a lunatic, then I think you'd find my reaction was warranted. I ended up staying with Chris and Rebecca for another night. I didn't wake up yesterday until afternoon, and thankfully I didn't see Lynn's face watching me through the window. I don't want to pry because it's not my place, but is this fight something that can be mended? Rebecca asked. She'd made us both a sandwich for lunch, and I knew she wanted to breach the subject without seeming too nosy. I don't know, she's like a different person, I said, choosing my words carefully. I still wasn't ready for her or Chris to know the full extent of the batshit craziness I'd been dealing with. People change, Ben, but she's still the same woman you married. Maybe you both just need to talk through your issues. Whatever's going on, I'm sure it can be fixed, she said, ever the peacemaker. I think it's beyond that now. I don't think talking would help. I just don't trust her, I said. The words stung in my heart. I missed and loved my wife, but how could I live with someone like that? Living in constant fear didn't sound too appealing. Lynn loves you. She has to be absolutely crushed, she said. I don't know about that, I said. Well, she certainly seemed like it to me. I've never seen her so upset. Very much unlike the Lynn I know, Rebecca said, shaking her head sadly. Whoa, they talked?
Mm-hmm.
The fuck?
Interesting.
It took her a full minute for her words to really sink in, and when they did, I felt dread worming its way through my skin. Wait, what do you mean? You saw her? You saw Lynn? I asked, my mouth suddenly dry. Rebecca nodded casually as if that fact wasn't nightmare fuel. Maybe for her it wasn't. She stopped by this morning just after Chris left for work, she said, cleaning the plates from the table. I didn't see her car though. Maybe she took an Uber or something? Beck, what did she say? Did she come inside? I asked, sweat starting to break out on my forehead. I began looking around, examining corners as though a predator lurked behind them. No, she just asked if you were awake yet, and I said that you weren't. I asked if she wanted me to wake you, but she said no, just to let you sleep, she said as she washed the dishes. That's all? She didn't say anything else? I asked. No, she looked awful, though, like she hadn't slept in days. I think you should call her. I got up from the table and thanked Rebecca for lunch.
I do not remember any of this part, so I don't remember how this ends. I'm being dead ass. I just remember it being hella good. But I didn't. She stopped by, and Beck or Rebecca said she was like regular.
Yeah, so there's got to be two of her. That's my theory. So
also, like, I don't think there is two of her because it said no. She looked awful though. Like she hadn't slept in days. So maybe she just, I don't know, because like she's not sleeping obviously.
Yeah, and there's no car though.
Yeah. Did she run?
She must have gotten in his car because she was there the day before. So maybe it's the same one, because she was there the night before, staring at him through the window, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it's the same one. She came in the car, and just had been like hiding out this whole time.
Oh yeah, for sure, hiding out around the house. But I wonder if
probably staring at him.
But I wonder if the person who talked to Rebecca was actually Lynn, or was the monster pretending to be normal.
True. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the question. That's the biggest question here. Is the one talking to these people who seem normal? Is she actually normal, or is she pretending? Is she just a monster who's pretending? That's the big question right now.
I got up from the table and thanked Rebecca for lunch. I felt a little bit better at the knowledge that she at least didn't come inside. Still, I needed to double check that the doors were locked. I sat for a while trying to figure out what to do next. I didn't want to go home, but I felt that I owed it to Lynn to help her if I could. Hadn't I sworn an oath to love and honor her through sickness and in health? Clearly, she was very sick. If she was sick, which I truly believe she was, I had to try and get her help she needed. But I didn't even know where to start. I didn't want to call the police, and besides, what the hell was I going to tell them? That my wife was peeking at me? That she was being creepy? As bizarre as she'd been, she still hadn't committed any crime. Not yet, anyway. The police would have probably said that I was overreacting, but this wasn't some prank. It felt wrong. Dangerous, even. Like something sinister lurked behind her smile. I knew as her husband I was well within my rights to have her committed, but what if she simply acted normal in their presence? She'd obviously been able to fool Rebecca into thinking she was just a concerned wife. As long as the doctors didn't find her danger to herself or others, they'd have no choice but to release her after 72 hours. I felt lost and overwhelmed, so I did what any husband in my position would do. I called her mother. I didn't want to, believe me. Her mother, Marianne, and I were never on the best terms. We never fought or anything like that. She just wasn't a very warm person and wasn't really easy to get along with. She hardly ever smiled, and when she did, only her lips would move into a thin-lipped smile, leaving her eyes as blank as before. She gave off this aura that felt like she was permanently on the offensive. So what are you thinking about this now? With its new, what he's thinking.
The new character.
In the new character, yeah.
What is he going to do? Oh, you know what? New theory time.
Okay.
New theory time. Here's my new theory. Okay. My new theory. Here's what he's going to do. Okay. It's going to be like some family curse. She's going to explain it, and she's going to be like, the same thing happened to my mother.
You think?
And yeah.
But is that too
that
predictable?
Always happens in horror stories.
Yeah,
That
but that's
always
like
happens.
predictable.
It is pretty predictable.
But it's a safe theory.
It might happen. I don't really know. I mean, this story is really good because I don't have like an exact like.
Yeah.
Usually these stories are so predictable, like I know exactly what's gonna happen, but this one.
Like, what do you think? Wait, is his name Chris? Why am I thinking? No, Chris is the other guy. What do you think he's gonna do?
Yeah.
What do you think what would you like? What do you think he's gonna do after he calls his mom or after he calls her mom? It just depends what she says.
No idea. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what he's calling her for.
Yeah. Because like
Gotta
if
be
my
so
wife was
real.
acting like that, I'd be like, shit.
I'm in suspense.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
All right. I'd only met her twice, and both times were for such short visits. I got the impression she didn't approve of me for her daughter. Lynn always ushered us out quickly, and she didn't want me to feel uncomfortable, which I was grateful for. Being in her mother's company felt almost unbearable, like walking on glass. I was glad when we moved 3 states away so we didn't have to see her often. I was happy to avoid the woman, but I needed her help. I really didn't want to talk to her at all, but I had to talk to someone, and someone who knew Lynn better than I did, so I grit my teeth and did what I had to do. Yes, she answered, already sounding irritated. Marianne, it's me, Ben. Do you have a minute to talk? I could hear her cluck her tongue in irritation. I'm in the middle of writing some checks, but if you insist, I suppose I could spare a moment. Okay, fuck Marianne, bro. Fuck people who talk like that anyways.
Yeah.
What is it that you want to discuss, Ben? She
Oh
said
God.
coolly. It's about Lynn. She's been acting strangely, and I was wondering if you had any idea whether there was something. I was quickly interrupted. It's a bit difficult to follow your rambling, Benjamin. What is it that you want from me? She asked. I could almost see her standing there in her thin sweater and slacks, tapping her fingernails impatiently on the table. I wanted to know if you'd ever noticed any odd behavior, or possibly any mental health issues, I asked. There was a long, uncomfortable pause that I couldn't tell was because she was just thinking, or something else. Finally, after a few seconds, she spoke. I'm not sure if this is one of your jokes, Benjamin, but if so, I don't find any humor in it. Now, I do have business to attend to, as I've said, so if you don't mind, she said, but I cut her off before she could get rid of me. Marianne, it's not a joke. I'm sincerely concerned about Lynn's mental health. Her behavior has been very erratic lately. I'm very worried about her, and I figured as her mother, you would be as well. I said, my frustration evident in my voice. If you're truly concerned, then I suggest you get the health professionals involved. I don't know what you expect of me. She snapped. I could tell she was seconds away from hanging up, and for some reason I was desperate not to let her. I had the feeling that she knew a lot more than she was letting on. Marianne, if not me, do it for Lynn. I tried. I heard a faint, shaky intake of breath, as if she were trying to hold her steely persona together, but failing. Marianne, what's wrong? I started. Benjamin, I don't know what to tell you. My only advice would be to seek professional help. Do not call here again. Goodbye. I tried to call out to her, but she'd hung up. Yeah, so fuck Marianne.
Yeah, because
She's obviously hiding something.
yeah, but also like she's hiding something, but like she doesn't care about her like daughter at all. Like if I was like had like a kid and they're like my son-in-law or daughter-in-law is like they need help, I'd be like, what? Like she's just like,
Yeah.
who fucking
Like,
cares?
I'd care. But maybe she does care. Maybe because she's hiding something. Right?
Yeah.
And that could mean anything. That could mean literally anything.
But also like this isn't like out of character for her too. Because like,
Yeah, she's a
because
bitch.
Ben said like she's always been this way. It's like maybe she just like doesn't even like her daughter that much either. So like maybe she's not even
Yeah,
hiding
she's a
because like
bitch.
she could be hiding something, and that's what I thought when I first read it. But like,
Hmm.
what if she's just not? What if she's just like, I don't care about either of you, you know?
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah,
I guess we'll find out. Dude, I'm just gonna be so mad if this ending isn't good. If this all this buildup is for fucking nothing, I'm gonna be so mad.
I know. The last just like episode 1, bro. That shit was ass.
All right, you want to keep going?
Yeah. I tried to wrap my head around the call and her refusal to help me. Even if she didn't like me, why wouldn't she want to help her own daughter? Hey, I just said that. I couldn't understand that. I tried to replay the conversation, desperate to find something I missed. After a while, I almost gave up until I remembered her last words to me: seek professional help. She'd said those words with a bit of urgency. I could have been grasping at straws, but no, I was sure her voice had changed ever so slightly when she'd said that, as if they were very important. What had she met? I assumed she'd been referring to medical professionals, but maybe she was referring to somebody else, someone that she didn't, for some reason, feel comfortable saying directly. Or maybe I was just desperate. I waited for Chris to get home, and after a very long and exhausting conversation with him and Rebecca, I convinced him that Lynn truly needed psychiatric help. I didn't tell them everything. I wasn't prepared to go into that yet, but I told them about our last encounter. Had she hidden in the bathroom, peeking at me from behind the closet? They were obviously shocked, but thankful they believed me. They too just wanted to help her. Still, they didn't think it was all that serious. Weird, maybe, but not dangerous. They just kept saying that Lynn had to be playing some kind of weird joke. Maybe for YouTube? Rebecca offered, if only half heartedly.
Who would do that, dude? Who would do stuff on YouTube?
Dude, that shit would be. I would not watch that video.
Yeah, for real, bro.
Yo, guys.
The AVD on that video gonna
Yeah.
be fucked. Hour and a half long of just waiting for this guy to jump out.
Yeah, guys watching this, would you watch a video of just scaring the shit out of your husband by staring at him?
Yeah, let me know. Let us
Because
know.
like, what if, what if I just stare at Boy for an hour without him knowing?
Yeah, this is the next podcast. Look,
An hour long of just staring.
would you guys watch that? Would you guys be down for that?
Yeah.
Let us know. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
Chris didn't think we should involve the police just yet. He offered instead to go with me, and I readily accepted. He reasoned that I calmly talked to her, trying to coax her into going willingly was the best recourse. I agreed to do this at his way. At least I wouldn't be going into that house alone. We drove over this morning just after breakfast. There was no way I was going at night. When we pulled into the driveway, my stomach began doing somersaults. Her car wasn't there, but I still didn't let my guard down. The front door was ajar, and for a split second I thought we'd seen her. I thought for a split second I thought we'd see her eyes staring through the gap. I was shaking and starting to sweat. Chris, however, was fine. He waited for me to open the door, his hands in his pockets like he was going on a fucking stroll through the park. I envied his ignorance. I pushed the door open and was immediately hit with the stench of rot. Chris smelled it too, and he walked into the house behind me with his nose scrunched up. What do you guys use to clean the floors around here? Shit, Chris mumbled. Shut up, I said, my eyes darting around for any signs of Lynn. So what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to go down in this house?
I think she's dead.
Okay. You do?
Smells like rot.
But
I
what
think she's
about
gonna
like
be dead.
what about your original theory when you're like she killed something? It's like demon shit.
Oh, what if there is
Like a
like
sacrifice.
like a sacrificial lamb in the closet with a pentagram drawn around it?
Cuz like what if it is mental illness?
Or what if
and she just died?
what if one of the Lyns killed the other? What if evil Lynn killed regular Lynn?
Oh shit. Like Lynn's dead body's on the floor and then the scary one comes out, so it's two Lynn's.
Yeah,
That would be
like
scary.
Lynn's like standing over it, just staring at Ben whenever he comes in.
Benjamin, what if Marianne's the killer?
Yeah, Mary, the bitch, bro. Fuck her. I guess she is, bro. Fuck her.
All right,
Right.
keep going.
The house was deadly quiet and dark, despite being 10 in the morning. All the curtains were closed up tight, refusing to allow any sunlight inside. If I hadn't left it just 2 days prior, I'd have thought the house to be abandoned. We moved. Excuse me. Fuck.
You're
Sorry, I
good.
had wings for dinner. I keep burping. We moved through each room, carefully checking any place that she might hide, occasionally calling her name. Why the fuck are you looking under the couch? Chris asked eventually. Aren't we looking for your wife? He was looking at me like I was a moron. Let's just go upstairs, I whispered. He shook his head, but followed me up the stairs to check the bathroom and spare bedroom. On the way up, my shoes crunched over pieces of glass that looked to be littered over a few of the steps. I noticed that one of Lynn and my wedding portraits that hung on the wall along the staircase had been smashed. The frame hung crookedly, all the glass removed. I stared at the picture, a lump forming in my throat. We had taken the photo just after leaving the church, after saying our vows. She looked so beautiful in her white gown. I looked at Lynn's beautiful face. I never dreamed her face would ever be a source of terror for me. We climbed the rest of the steps and checked the spare bedroom, but it looked completely untouched. I was hesitant to go into the bathroom, my fear from that night coming back to me all at once. Chris noticed and offered to go in by himself, but I couldn't let him do that, so we walked in together, checking the closet and the shower. The bathroom looked as if it hadn't been touched since the night I left. I don't think she's here, Ben. Why don't you pack up some clothes and we'll try coming back tomorrow or something? Chris said. I nodded and we went into our bedroom and shoved some clothes into a duffel bag. When I checked inside our closet, I came across the source of the smell and gagged. Chris took one look and lost all color in his face. He had to go stand by the stairs to get away from the sight and smell.
Ooh. What do you think it is? Don't read ahead. Don't read ahead. Don't read ahead. Don't read ahead. Don't read ahead.
Okay, my eyes are closed, bro. My eyes are closed.
What do you think it is? What do you think's in there?
It's a dead deer. It's gonna be a dead deer.
A whole
It's gonna be a
deer?
dead. Yeah, a whole ass deer.
Why would Lynn be going for the deer?
It's like I don't know, like this is like a scary animal. Deers are scary.
Oh yeah? You got
That's what I would kill.
you got an issue with deer? Or you think they're scary?
Fuck yeah, bro. Fuck yeah,
What's so
dude.
scary about the deer?
Well, deer is like the only animal that you would ever see like late at night, and it
Yeah.
would be a reason to scare you. Because like if you're driving, you know, it's gonna like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because maybe I'm just scared of deer. I don't know.
Heard it here first, folks. Boy is scared of deer.
My biggest fear.
Yo, someone watching this, please make a deer Reddit story that's scary.
No, please, anything but that, please.
Please, no, please.
No, I actually am afraid of dolphins and whales.
Really?
It's called cetophobia. Yeah. So I actually have a fear of dolphins and whales. In 10th grade, we had to go to an aquarium for a field trip, and I sat in the very back of the. We had to go like a dolphin show, right? And I sat in the very back, and they made me go. I was like, teacher, I don't want to go to the dolphin show. I don't like them. And she made me go, and I was like, the whole time I was just like shaking.
Wait, what's your
Like
issue
this.
with them? So you're being like dead
They're just
ass.
scary. Yeah. Yeah, they're
Hold
just
up,
scary,
guys.
bro. I don't know.
Put a pause on the story. We need to dive into the phobia real quick. So hold up. What's it called?
It's called cetophobia. CETA phobia.
Cetophobia. So
Yeah, dude.
what's so scary about whales and
They just stress me out, bro. They just like I see them, I just get like. Ooh,
is it because they're big? Or is it because like
I
they're
guess,
under
but,
is
but
it's
dolphins too.
is it because like
I don't know.
they're water or like they're like what like what's like instant like is it just like what about
I
them
think that
scares
the
you?
size does. I think there's also a thing with the size because like dolphins don't scare me nearly as much as whales do. Like I remember in the aquarium we saw like a big ass beluga whale, and I actually like jumped back whenever I saw it.
Is it because they're like oh that's so interesting?
I think it's fucked, bro. I mean, phobias are kind of interesting because they're just like
Yeah.
weird processes in your brain that just like for some reason like the things get intertangled and just for some reason like I get the fear emotion whenever I see a
Yeah,
whale.
it's
or
so
a dolphin.
weird.
I don't know.
So, but like, if I bring up a picture right now of a whale, will you like fucking freak out,
I mean, I'd probably like do that.
or is it just in real life?
I mean, if like if I'm prepared, I'm fine at this point. Like I've kind of gotten older, but like if out of nowhere a picture of a dolphin or a whale just like appeared on my computer screen, I would actually kind of like it would like give me like it's like seeing it's the same thing as like seeing a spider. You know, like you see a spider,
Yeah.
like a picture of one. it kind of just like makes you jump a little bit. Like it's not that bad, you know. You see a picture of one, but it just kind of like freaks you out.
Okay,
Like, you
that's a good
don't want to
comparison.
look at it.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah, it's the
comparison.
same thing as like a spider. Like I feel the same thing as like a whale with a spider.
That's so funny.
Yeah, bro. I'm like a pussy, bro.
What about like a shark?
Oh, I think sharks are awesomely like kind of cute.
That's weird how like because like sharks and dolphins are like similar, but then
Yeah,
dolphins
I
for some
don't know.
reason.
Just because my brain knows as a dolphin is like that's scary.
Huh. When did you first like find that out?
Mm. When I was little, my dad had like a DVD collection of like the planet Earths, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I used to always love watching the ocean one because it was like a little horror movie for like me as like a little kid. Like I would get like adrenaline watching the ocean.
That's
documentary.
hilarious. It's like a little horror movie.
Bro. Yeah, for real. Like it would like give me adrenaline. Like, I
Your
would, like,
friend
seek
comes
it
over to
out.
your house, dude. I got some fucked up shit. Turns on, turns off, and here
It's
we
just,
are.
like David Attenborough.
And here we are with the dolphin swimming through the ocean. Yo, dude, see this shit? This shit's wild.
I'm just like crying. I'm just like
That's so funny.
literally, bro.
Sorry, guys, we
All right,
got
let
a
me
little
keep
bit
reading.
off track. I gazed down in shock at what lay inside my bedroom closet, soaking into the rug were at least a dozen eyeballs, all carefully laid out in pairs. Some were as large as a quarter, while others were as tiny as a marble. I stared down at the eyes she'd collected from small animals, and I wondered how'd she gotten them, and shuddered at the thought. Man, I thought I had it bad with Becca's shoe addiction, but fuck me. Your wife's in here collecting eyeballs. Chris said, gagging. Ben, I think we should go. He called down from the hall. I'm getting nauseous. Dude, Chris is kind of funny. All right. I grabbed my
Yeah,
duffel
fuck with Chris.
and shut the closet door on my new nightmare. I stepped out into the hall and took a deep breath of air. I could taste the rot on my tongue and couldn't help but gag. Who the fuck lines up eyeballs in their closet like that? Chris muttered. I tried to tell you she needed help, I said. She doesn't need help. But she doesn't need help, Ben. She needs a fucking exorcist, he said. You coming or what? I can't stand the smell any. His words died in his throat, and his eyes grew wide with fear. I didn't ask him why. I could feel it. Someone was watching me, and I didn't think it was the eyes in the closet. I turned around, my eyes slowly scanning the bedroom. Christ, I whispered, as I finally saw what we'd missed. Under the bed, curled on her side, watching us with the excitement of a kid on Christmas morning, was my wife. She held her hands together just under her chin, and they were shaking eagerly. Now that she knew she'd been found, I could hear the quiet noises she was making, a sort of hiccuping sound in her throat, as if the excitement was just too much for her. It was unnerving to say the least. Wide eyes and that same huge smile. What do you think?
Fuck, bro. Fuck.
Because like, there's nothing like paranormal so far.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Like
is
this
the
could be real.
problem, bro?
Like this is like,
What is she trying to accomplish? I don't understand. Like,
because like, if
I don't
because like,
understand.
could like heavy drug abuse make you do this shit? Like if you like got geeked out and just like, you just start
It's, like,
ripping
hella
eyeballs.
DMT. God, there's just like there's no like I don't understand like what her motive is for doing any of this shit.
Because like now it's
That's the
past
thing,
like,
you know.
well now it's obviously past a prank because like the fucking eyeballs.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's way past
Yeah,
a
so-
prank at this
Yeah,
point.
there's no way she's gonna be like,
Just
I'm
kidding.
just kidding. I'm just trying to be less serious. I went and killed her
Yeah.
cat and stole its eyeballs.
So like, what do you think? Do you think Lynn is gonna be like? What do you think she's gonna do now that she's found?
I mean I think she's gonna keep like trying to run away. Just like
Yeah.
be like, oh you got me, oh I don't
Oh,
care.
okay.
Hey, run away.
Yeah.
I think that she just finds amusement in freaking these people out. I
Mhm.
think that maybe it's just a ghost that just is amused by terrorizing human. Maybe that's what it is. You know,
What if it's not even a ghost? What if it's just her?
what if she's just freaky?
Yeah. Freaky ah. Go for it.
All right, I'm intrigued, bro. I'm really into this shit. Okay. Everything in me told me to run, but I forced it away. This was my wife. No matter how twisted, she was still the woman I married. I had to help her. Lynn, I said, softly. She didn't respond, but her head bobbed back and forth in two quick little movements as if she were nodding. Baby, I just want to help, okay? Can you let me do that? I asked. I had taken a single step forward, approaching her like some kind of dangerous animal. I love you, Lynn, I said softly, taking another step closer. She let out a tiny moan escape her wide-open mouth, and I had to resist the urge to run. Her shoulders were starting to quiver, and her eyes grew as large as saucers. I crouched down so I could see her better, and immediately saw the blood. Her hands were covered in it. They trembled more the closer I got, as if she was barely able to contain herself. Lynn, are you hurt? You're bleeding, I said. She bobbed her head again, her bloody fingers moving up and down, playing an invisible piano. They occasionally grazed her chin, leaving smears of blood on her skin. I wanted to recoil in disgust. The smell was coming off of her was revolting. I could feel the vomit trying to climb up my throat. Her lips were dry and stretched thin, blood seeping between the cracks. I knew she wouldn't come out on her own, but I didn't want to leave her in the state she was in. I scooted over and reached out to her. The excited hiccuping sounds got louder and her hands shook, fingers flexing. It was then that I could see the blood oozing from in between her fingers. She's going to be holding some shit.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be holding something that's, like, bleeding.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Lynn, you're bleeding, I said. Instinctively, I reached out to take her hand, but before I could even touch her, her hand sprang toward me. A sharp pain shot through my arm and I fell back on my ass. My arm burned and I could see the blood dripping down into the carpet. I looked back at her in shock and saw her grinning madly, her fingers clutching a large shard of glass. You alright in there? Chris asked from behind me. I was wrong. She was not holding a bleeding animal. She was fucking cutting herself with glass.
That's fucked
God
up.
damn, bro. Yeah, maybe she's in like a fucked cult or some shit.
Like she could be crazy or some shit.
She could have mental illness.
Yeah.
I
Like,
don't know.
I want to just keep going.
Yeah, we're already over an hour. I don't want to freak out our viewers too much.
Yeah. I turned my head slightly and nodded to him, cradling my arm to my chest. When I turned back to face Lynn, I saw that her focus had shifted. She wasn't looking at me anymore, and she wasn't smiling anymore either. She was staring past me, her eyes glaring at Chris the way a hungry lion might stare at an antelope. Her mouth was still hanging open, but it was twisted into a snarl. I got to my feet and began walking backwards down the hall, afraid to take my eyes off her. Are you bleeding? Chris asked. The moment the words left his mouth, Lynn started fast scooting out from under the bed, the glass shards still in her fist. Chris, run, go, I yelled. He must have been too afraid to move because a second later I felt my back bump into him. He was still standing at the top of the stairs, staring at the horror that was my wife. Lynn had crawled completely out from under the bed and stood in the bedroom doorway. Her face twisted in rage. Her whole body was visibly tense. Blood ran down her fingers and onto the floor. Jesus, Lynn, Chris said. You, playing hide and seek? I reached back and pushed him towards the steps. Move your ass, Chris, I said as quietly but firmly as I could. Lynn bobbed her head and fast, sharp motions began to grin, stretching her mouth open wider and wider so that her chin seemed to touch her chest. I heard Chris mutter a prayer, and then he was running down the stairs. I stood at the top of the steps, stuck between the love for a woman who clearly needed serious help and self-preservation. I only want to help, I said, choking back tears. Her eyes focused on me once again as she slowly lifts the glass, holding it in front of her, and then she starts sprinting towards me, grinning with utter excitement. Thankfully, my body took over and I flew down the stairs, skipping 2 or 3 at a time. I made it to the front door before I felt her leap onto my back, wrapping her arms around my neck, her open mouth next to my ear so that I could hear those terrible hiccuping sounds so close. I shook her off me, knocking her to the floor. I felt a searing pain in my back as she went, but I tore open the front door and bolted to my car. Chris was standing in the front yard, talking on the phone with the police. I didn't say a word. I just ran to my car and jumped in. Chris took the hint and followed me, still on the line with 911. I watched the rearview mirror. Sure, I'd see her running after us, but I never did. I went straight to the ER and got 11 stitches in my arm and 3 on my back. The police asked a lot of questions and went back to the house to do a search, but of course, Lynn wasn't there. They advised me to stay with a friend or relative for a while and to file a restraining order as soon as I could, but none of those things would matter. Somehow, I just knew. I dropped Chris off at home and went to the motel an hour away. I wanted to put as much distance between me and Lynn as I could. This is where I'd been for the past 4 hours. I thought maybe the police would find her, maybe they'd get her help she desperately needs. But now, I don't think so. Because 40 minutes ago, I got a text from an unknown number. Just said 3 words. I found you. And a picture attached. The picture was dark and grainy, but I instantly knew what it was. There was no mistaking my wife's eyes. I started typing this out immediately after. I don't know what to do. I'm alone and scared, and I can't help but feel that I'm being watched.
And that's it.
That's it. What did you like about it? Or what did you think about it?
Don't kill me, Snook.
Oh no, he doesn't like it.
Don't kill me, Snook.
He doesn't like it.
There's still no ending. There's no explanation. Like,
True.
At all. Like, there's no answer to any of the questions.
But maybe that's the fun of it.
Story raised. Okay, dude, fuck you. Because yesterday, not yesterday, 2 days ago, when we recorded the first episode, you were mad at the same thing in the other story.
Yeah, true. No, but like this one just had like scarier lines.
This one's
like
better.
This one, like it was,
this
it was
one's a lot
definitely better. Because like just like the build up of it, it was just like unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
Like
but also, it has a lot of the same problems as the other one though, because like the thing with Marianne, that went nowhere.
True.
I don't know if I like it, bro. I don't know if I like it.
I mean, in my defense, the original video got 1.5 million views, so people liked it. People like the original. People like this story.
No, I mean, it's probably me. I'm just probably a fucking asshole.
Yo.
I'm just complaining too much.
Yo, guys. Who are watching this video? Is Poi wrong? Or is this story gas or ass? I mean, like there was some like
episode. I gotta show you my favorite Reddit story.
Okay, I'm ready. But like, I think there was just like some scary like shit about it. Like it just like
it was scary.
Like there was some like good lines.
It had a lot of more scarier moments than like the other one. Like it was a lot better than the other one.
Yeah.
Like I want to know like what it was. Like I want to know what the signal was happening. You know.
What the sigma?
Why? Yeah, I want to know what that sigma was happening.
So like we rated the last one 2 or 3 out of 10. So just horrific. What would you give this one?
4 out of 10.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of crazy.
There's no ending, bro. There's no ending to this.
But I feel like it.
Like.
But like, would it? So like, what if it was just like, my wife was just became batshit crazy and got put into an institution? Would that like help you? Would that like boost the score?
No, because that'd be a bullshit answer. That'd be so fucking stupid. Like okay, a good ending would have been like, what if it ended with like Lynn being dead, right? Like he walks in on Lynn's dead body, and then he feels some spirit like inhabiting him, and then like the last sentence is cut off, right? Because he feels the same spirit that was inhabiting her start inhabiting him. That would be a sick ending. Okay.
What would you do? What
like
would you give it? What would you
answers.
give it if that was the ending?
Maybe like a 5 or a 6, because still like there's no answer to the other shit. Like what was Marianne talking about with like, I could tell she was hiding something, or like
True.
You need to talk to somebody special, you know? And like, what are the eyes? Like there's just not. It doesn't make enough sense for me. It doesn't make enough sense for me. Sorry.
You know, guys, I'm gonna give this story a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. So this is a Poi and Snook disagreements right now.
So so your favorite is it 8 out of 10, or is this not your favorite anymore?
It's not my favorite anymore. Because I also remember I read this 4 months ago, and this was like literally my first Reddit story video. So like that was like, it was really good for like the first story. Like this was a really good first story to read.
Yeah.
Like one of the first stories to read. And so I
It
like
it beats a lot of the one. I've heard so many stories on my channel that are just like romance, like it's just like fanfic, you know. It's
really
like, and then I felt her lips touch mine,
I've
and it's like I don't realize it until I'm like already into the story.
I've
It's like,
never
oh
read that,
fuck,
but I've never read a story like that.
maybe my Reddit page is just a little different than yours.
Maybe. But like but everyone watching, what would you give this story? I mean, because I
Let us
like
know in the
this one.
comments.
This is like a good, it's just like I think it's an overall good story. Like I think it will please like 90% of people who like you read it to or like give it to.
I disagree.
Really?
hmm Okay, my favorite story is a horror story, right? But it's told by this one guy on the internet. And he's really private about the story. I wanted to cover it, but I can't because he copyrights anybody that reads his story.
Oh,
But I'm hoping that one day we can get him on the podcast to
yeah.
tell the story.
Oh,
'Cause
that'd
he
be
knows
so
he has it, like,
good.
memorized. It's like a 40-minute story. He tells there's a video on YouTube. I'm not gonna say that. I want you guys to be in suspense.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Snook, after.
Okay.
But it's the best horror story I've ever heard. My brother showed it to me. It's just it's fucking insane, bro. Like that story, it is everything. It's the only story that's ever actually scared me, like genuinely scared me.
I wonder
we
if
gotta get the guy in the podcast.
I wonder if at the end of it, I'll just be like, man, that shit wasn't even
right.
scary.
We'll see, bro.
Because I did get your hopes high for this one. I did.
You did, bro.
Like
Love it
guys
too.
watching, I was hyping this shit up. Because when I read it for the first time, it was so good. And like all the comments on like the video that I covered this on or read it on, like everyone's so scared of it. So I'm so surprised like you were not like loving it more.
It's not my cup of tea, dude.
Just like, what do you think?
I guess I don't know. I feel like for something to be scary to me, like I need like an explanation that can scare me. Like I want the explanation to be like scary. Like I want like what was happening. Like,
I
why it
have
happened.
like,
It's like, okay, my favorite horror movie, right, is Saw.
okay.
Because the shit that he did, I feel like could happen to me, you know, and that's
Mhm.
what fucking gets me. Like I'm actually scared. Like I could just, if I fuck up, I could get kidnapped by this random old white dude and get locked in a bathroom. You know, like
Yeah.
that's scary to me. Like I like horror stories that have like an element of like it could happen.
I feel like this has that. Like you can, if you like read this in like full, like you can really like see yourself in it.
Maybe,
Maybe I was like in just like
a little bit.
I like when I first read this, like Lynn was my wife. Like I was like convinced.
Maybe it's just because your name is Ben in real life, dude. Maybe that's why. So you can relate to the guy.
Facts. Here first. Snook's name is Ben. Actually, no, it's not.
Hey,
but
Ben. What's up, Ben?
I like this one. I like it. I like it less the second time I read it because also expected it. But like when I first read it first time, really good. But I hope a lot of people who are watching right now, this was the first time you guys read it. Yeah, because I think you have to let me know if like, because I was already like desensitized to it because I've already read it. Poi just didn't fucking like it.
Well, I'm sure too that there's like a it's like a different vibe of like hearing somebody tell it.
Yeah.
Than like, because like for us, you know, for you viewers at home, you know, we're chill on this podcast. We can talk a little more freely. Like for us, like it's like a job to us. Like we like record these stories, and it's like a work. Like this is like us like going to our job, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a lot easier to enjoy. That's probably why I like that one story a lot that I was talking about, because I didn't have to read it myself. Like if somebody read it to me. It was like if somebody made the video for me that I could watch.
Yeah, it makes
like,
sense.
listen to. So I feel like that's part of it too, is that it's harder to enjoy a story.
It also kind of matters like my like mental space at that time, because like sometimes I'll be like, okay, I need to record a video, and I'll record it, but like sometimes like I'm like, I really want to read a scary story, and then I'll get scared by it. Like I was kind of in that mood for like this video.
You just like sometimes you just like want to just like go to bed.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I like this one. This one was fire, in my opinion. I think it's like it is on like it also like means a lot to me since my most popular viewed video.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like it has like that added to it, but like it wasn't as good. the second time, and maybe it's because we like paused through it, so you guys might be hella pissed at us in the comments. You'll be like, "Stop fucking talking during the middle of the story. Stop."
Yeah, for real. Yeah, for real.
You guys talked about dolphins and whales for 4 minutes in between.
Yeah, if you make a comment that's like, for future reference, skip minutes 32 to 34.
Oh, 100%. Whoever did that,
Yeah, sorry guys for being a party pooper.
I'm flaming you in the comments. You're gonna see Snook pulling up. I'm gonna be like,
We don't like you.
yeah. And also, did you guys hear that knocking sound in the video? You guys might need to go back and look for it somewhere.
Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah.
Whoever finds it wins $2,000.
Yep. Actually, yeah, Mr. Beast. Since Mr.
I
Beast
feel
is...
like my editor is gonna actually put it in there and make us lose $2,000.
God damn it. We're gonna be poor. We're gonna get canceled for not doing a giveaway.
Yeah, for real. All right, well, we've held you guys long enough.
I hope you guys enjoyed this though. And like, what'd you like about the pod? Like, do you guys like this podcast, or is it like,
Yep.
or is it hella
Let us know what to
overrated? Is it
change.
hella bad, or is it hella good?
Yeah. Tell us what to change. Tell us how to make it better. Tell us who you want us to get on the podcast.
True,
in the
because
future.
like we need to start getting some guests on. That'd be
For
sick.
real. Episode 5, we'll have a guest.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Maybe.
Like, would you guys like to see like, oh, we can get guests, 100%.
I'll email the guy who told my favorite story and see if he wants to come on. I'll email him.
Yeah, that'd be good. But guys, like, please
Yep.
subscribe and like, because
Like the video, comment, tell us how you feeling, how you doing.
let us
If
know
made
what
it
you.
this far into the video, if you made this far into the video, comment a 4 out of 10 because the story's a 4 out of 10. And if you agree with me and you made it this
No,
far, comment 4 out of 10.
comment 8 out of 10. Snook Gang versus Poi. Oh, we're beefing now.
Yeah, we have.
We're gonna
been
have
so
diss
comfortable
tracks.
again.
Second episode, we're gonna have diss tracks right after second episode.
Let's do it, bro. I'll make one right now, bro. You know I fuck with my music.
Yeah, I'll just I'll ask Baby No Money to help me.
Okay, fuck you, bro. You don't gotta flaunt your subscribers, your relevance.
Yo, guys, comment 8 out of 10 if you agree with Snook. What'd you say? 3 out of 10? 4 out of 10?
4 out of 10.
Oh, you bumped it. Wait, no, you didn't.
No, it's always been a 4.
It
yeah.
was before. Okay, but bro, I don't
4 if
agree.
you're
Dude,
right.
the 4 is like, bro, okay, you rated the last one a 2 or 3 out of 10, and like,
2. I gave it a 2.
okay, but like,
It's a 2.
so this one's only 2 points extra. The last one was bad.
Yeah.
That didn't have any scary shit in it at all.
It had some scary shit.
What was scary?
It had better ideas. I liked the ideas in the first story better, if I'm being real.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, the rule of like if the closet door is closed.
Oh,
you can
true.
vibrate, that's fucking cool. And like leave the TV on. Like that was fucking sick. Like I thought that was really scary. I just wish that it had an explanation. Like the ideas in this story aren't as good, but we do at least get more of an explanation. Like the story is like an easier read,
Mm-hmm.
but still there's no real explanation. Like I don't know what happened.
All right, guys. Poi likes explanations and shit. He little explainer over here.
Suck my cock.
Yo, somebody write a dolphin and whale horror story
Don't do that, please. No.
and make it scary as shit.
Yeah, Snook's gonna make me read on this podcast if you do that.
I'm gonna read it to him. I'm gonna just keep him there, and I'm gonna be like, and the dolphin went into the water and splashed, and he's gonna be like, holy shit, holy shit. He's gonna start crying. So you guys watch out for that. Dolphin horror story at 17 episodes. So
Episode 17. And then maybe episode 18 will be fuck Snook, Poi Gang. Snook sucks, kicking Snook off the podcast. It's the Poi cast.
oh
now.
shit. Guys, you won't let that happen.
All right, guys.
Yo, yeah.
Have a good night.
Have a great
Everybody.
night or day or morning.
Look behind you.
Don't look behind you.
Check. She's there.
Don't look out your window because someone's out there staring at you. Oh, you guys can't even see me because I don't have a camera, so you need to subscribe,
Get
all
to
right?
10,000 subs.
Please, please. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching.
All right.
Subscribe. I love you. Bye-bye.
Peace out.